If you're a copywriter or a fitness marketer and your retention strategy is basically just send a promo email when the numbers start to dip, this episode is for you. Today, I'm breaking down the difference between a marketing email and a newsletter and how to use both of them to reduce gym member churn in creative, strategic ways. You'll walk away with fresh tactics you haven't heard before. You're listening to the High Conversion Health Marketer, the show that helps you craft memorable copy and messaging that connects, captivates, and converts. My name is Linda Malone. I'm a certified conversion copywriter and an award-winning content writer whose copy lands my clients major contracts. My mission is to help you, the health and fitness marketer, attract your ideal customer with copy they can't resist so you can grow your business. The idea for this topic popped up when I was interviewed as a guest several months ago on another podcast, but the episode never dropped. So this has given me plenty of time to make it even better, and you benefit from that time. It also answers a question I'm asked frequently. How can I make my marketing newsletters irresistible? And what's the difference between a marketing email and a newsletter? Is there even a difference? And there is. So you are going to walk away today with knowing the difference between a marketing email and a newsletter, when and how to use both for maximum engagement and conversions, actual examples of both versions in addressing the same topic, and let's just dive right in. So the difference between a marketing email and a newsletter, there's subtle differences, but their purpose really is distinct. A marketing email is direct action. They're usually pretty short-term goal. The goal is generally and usually to sell, sign up, register, book a call, take some kind of action. It has a clear call to action, a focused messaging, and it's meant to move people now. A newsletter, on the other hand, is more of a relationship builder. It builds long-term trust. The goal for a newsletter is more of a nurturing, educating, entertaining, building loyalty purpose. It has a softer call to action, maybe even multiple CTAs. It plays a long game, basically. And so let's talk about the behavioral psychology tie-in, okay? So people don't cancel memberships the moment that they get bored. They cancel when they feel disconnected. Emails that convert are great, but emails that connect, that's where your retention plan comes into play. So let's take a look at the same topic with two different approaches, one as a newsletter and the other as a email, just a marketing email. The topic is reducing gym churn. So what this means is people join a gym, especially in January, February, and they quit after a few weeks. In fact, research shows that more than 50% of people who new exercisers quit something within 6 to 8 weeks. So if you were sending an email to a member that, even if you don't know if they're getting ready to quit or if they have quit, this is still a really good email to send out because the chances are, the odds are against them continuing. So the subject would be, still paying for a gym membership you're not using. It should be short and punchy. So the body could be something like, most members cancel because they're bored, not seeing results, or overwhelmed trying to figure out the best workout. I've personally seen this myself all the years I've been at the gym. So if any of these sound like you, we have a solution and it won't cost you a dime. Okay, so you're presenting a solution and you're telling it's for free. So, and then you introduce very quickly, join us, have a date, the new, maybe it's a 20-day restart plan. In this live group coaching, you will get, and then 3 benefits, connection with other people like you, maybe a free training session with a personal trainer, whatever your 3 things are. And then I would also offer, click on this video for details, because a lot of people are like, well, I don't know if I'm going to do this, but okay, there's a video that maybe it's a trainer explaining exactly what they're doing. And then RSVP here, to sign up. Got questions, simply reply to this email. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. So you're giving them a number of ways to take action. So if they're not sure, you have the video, okay, so they can watch that. They RSVP to sign up. And then they can also send you a question back and make sure that there's someone who really responds to these. So the purpose is immediate re-engagement, especially if they're already dropped off. So a newsletter that is planned, so the idea for the newsletter is for getting to nurture people who may be considering quitting or have already quit. So you want to make it more general. The subject could be 3 hidden reasons people quit the gym. So if they've already quit, they're like, well, maybe this is something I need to read. So it's more story-based and it's more educational versus like the CTAs and the quick hit of the marketing email. So then you want to launch into a story. And I mean, you want to make it as authentic as you can. So if you know of someone, this would be great because so many people quit. I'm sure it wouldn't be that hard for you to find a person. So you could say one of our longest term members almost quit last month, not because she was lazy, but because she felt overwhelmed with all the fitness choices or whatever reason you want to give. She'd achieved her initial fitness goals, and then parentheses, yay, Susie. But she needed renewed motivation because a lot of times is when people quit. She often warmed up in the treadmill and then simply left because she didn't know where to start. She was frustrated. So it's like the PAS, pain, agitation, solution, copywriting formula. So the pain is that, okay, I got the results I wanted, or at least some of it, but I don't know where to go. There's the pain. The agitation, she warmed up on the treadmill and then looked around and left because she just didn't know where to begin, especially if it's one of the big box gyms where there's so much equipment, so many people. It's so easy to just be overwhelmed. So she was frustrated. And then you present as the solution. So here's what we did that brought her back stronger than ever. And then you have tips to re-engage. You have whatever it is that you want to propose, an invitation to a community event, and a soft call to action to check out maybe a new feature or a program. And so again, so this purpose of this newsletter, it's usually longer. There's an emotional reconnection, and you want to rebuild that trust that initially brought the member into your gym. So what actually moves the needle when you introduce your newsletter strategies tailored to fitness retention? You want to have, and this goes for any email, you want to have like a curiosity-driven subject line, something that makes people say, I need to know more. Something like, what I told a member who hadn't shown up in 3 months. Offhand, I don't know what that would be, but that's what they want to find out. You can miss workouts and still stay on track. Here's how. So that would be something like how you can do a maintenance program. Like maybe you're away on vacation, so you want to have them know that even though they missed, don't give up, stay on track. So why these work? It's a pattern interrupt. It speaks to the guilt and shame. Like, oh, I haven't done it. How am I going to get back into this? It's like, okay, don't worry about it. It's okay. We've all been there. So you tell them it's okay. And then it's a mini storytelling kind of with a self-diagnosis almost. So you frame like this common gym dropout behaviors. And you want the reader to recognize themselves. Like, yeah, that's me. And then not feel bad about it. And then we trust what we recognize in ourselves more than what we're told. So one of the other things you can do is to introduce like a ritual segment in your newsletter. And it could be an email, but this is more of a newsletter thing where you want to have like a client of the week. So if you have a newsletter that has different parts, like what's trending, and this could be client of the week, trainer truth bomb could be another thing, like a quote from one of your trainers in your gym. What you missed at the gym this week. So this is the FOMO, fear of missing out. What is new? Maybe there's a new piece of equipment that came in, or a new trainer started, or there's a new class, that sort of thing. So you want to build this kind of consistency and loyalty through this newsletter. And then also have your calls to action be engaging, not just salesy. So instead of sign up here or buy this or that kind of thing, you can say, hit reply if you've ever felt this way. We'd love to hear from you. And even adding something like maybe you'll be our next featured member next month or something to that effect. Or, reply with reboot if you want a 3-day reset plan, if that is what you're doing. And then you keep your sender reputation strong. Your inbox presence should be solid. So you start with the member's frustration and it was the solution they didn't expect. And you always bring it back full circle by giving the reader closure and kind of an emotional payoff. So here's a couple of creative ideas also to reduce churn. And some of these I have seen in emails, and so you don't want to overuse them, but like I don't particularly like the one "we miss you," but maybe in this case you could say something like, "We noticed you haven't checked in. We want to hear from you." You want this from a real trainer. You don't want this from like an automated bot. So if that person has connected with a trainer in your gym, you can have that trainer or even the manager of the gym, if it's like a small gym and you kind of know everybody, hey, I haven't heard from you. What's happening kind of thing. Or you've been with us for 6 months. That's 36 workouts, 108 burpees, whatever it is. Here's what to do next. And so you have post cancellation, a drip email that actually, re-engages people too. So if people have quit, you can get them back by just sending them some educational emails and it'll roll back around. People tend to join not just the beginning of the year, but when they realize it's beach season around the corner, that's a time when you get a surge. So people kind of go in these rotational episodes of working out, not working out. Overall, sales emails get attention. Newsletters build the emotional trust and attachment. In the fitness world, really having that kind of connection is the antidote to churn because everyone feels like they're a number. I can't tell you how many times I've joined a gym and walked in thinking that, the salesperson or the person who signed me up as a new member was like my new BFF because they act like that when you sign up. Hey, we're so happy you're here. And then you never see them or you see them and they don't even recognize you. That is the worst. So you want to make sure that this is a genuine connection because it's really important, especially in today's day and age. Hate to you say day and age, but it is in today's day and age. If this episode really hit home for you and you feel it's valuable to others, please share it and send people to the High Conversion Health Marketer podcast, where you will find more tips like this every week. And on that note, I hope you enjoyed this information and we'll see you next week.